Without question, whenever there is controversy surrounding an event like the situation happening now with InvestFest, it can be hard to tell who is speaking from real experience, who is making a valid point, and who is simply trying to get clicks by jumping on a hot topic. There's nothing wrong with people expressing how they feel about an event. If you attended, paid your money, traveled, stayed in a hotel, and felt you did not get what you paid for, you absolutely have a right to say that. But there is a difference between giving honest feedback and attacking an event without understanding everything that goes into producing something that large. I'm Kevin Ross, and this is 30 plus years in industry coverage from industry people. I did not attend InvestFest this year, so I am not going to pretend that I can speak on every complaint about programming, ticket value, crowding, or the overall experience. What I can speak about is how these events work behind the scenes, because people usually only see what happens on the front end. InvestFest is the annual financial literacy, entrepreneurship, investing, and culture event created by Earn Your Leisure founders Rashad Bilal and Troy Millings. The 2026 event took place August 7th through August 9th at the Georgia World Congress Center in Atlanta, and it reportedly drew more than 31,000 attendees. That is not a small event. When you bring in more than 30,000 people for a weekend, you are dealing with hotels, travel, security, vendors, staff, speakers, sponsors, transportation, food, ticketing, venue rules, crowd control, technology, media, and a long list of other moving parts. The controversy actually started before the event. In late July, Rashad Bilal and Troy Millings appeared on The Breakfast Club and expressed frustration about what they felt was a lack of support from Atlanta. Bilal said the city had done nothing for InvestFest, even though the event had been held there for 6 years and brought thousands of people into the city. The comments were widely interpreted as a warning that InvestFest could eventually leave Atlanta. Mayor Andre Dickens pushed back publicly. He questioned what InvestFest had done for Atlanta and mentioned the event's ticket prices. His point seemed to be that a major event coming into Atlanta, charging attendees significant ticket prices, should also have a clear plan for contributing to the city and its residents. Both sides made points people can understand. Earn Your Leisure has built an event that brings visitors, entrepreneurs, vendors, creators, speakers, hotel bookings, restaurant business, and national attention to Atlanta. That is valuable. At the same time, city leaders want to know what the event is doing beyond the convention center and whether there is a meaningful partnership with the people who actually live in Atlanta. There is also an important detail that gets lost in the argument. The Georgia World Congress Center is state-controlled, not run by the city of Atlanta. So when people say the city did not help, there may be multiple entities involved: the city of Atlanta, the venue, tourism officials, hotels, law enforcement, transportation agencies, and corporate sponsors. After the public back and forth, Mayor Dickens appeared on stage at InvestFest with Bilal and Millings. The mayor said they had their necessary conversations and would be discussing InvestFest 2027, along with investment opportunities on Atlanta's South Side. Troy Millings later described some of the issue as a misunderstanding in communication. That does not mean everything has been solved. It means both sides chose to talk instead of allowing the dispute to become a permanent public war. After InvestFest ended, social media was full of complaints and criticism. Some people said they did not learn enough. Some questioned whether the ticket prices matched the value they received. Others criticized parts of the programming, including the Kendra G singles-focused activation, saying they did not believe it fit an investing and business conference. People have the right to make those points. If you spent your money to attend, you have the right to say whether you receive value. But not every part of a large conference is designed for every attendee. An event like InvestFest has different audiences: beginners who need financial education, entrepreneurs looking for capital, people interested in real estate, creators, professionals, investors, vendors, and people who also want networking and social experiences. The real question for the organizers is whether the event clearly explained what each part of the experience was supposed to be. What people do not see is the amount of pressure involved in producing an event of this size. Behind the scenes, organizers may be dealing with speakers who cancel, speakers who want more money at the last minute, travel problems, staff issues, vendor problems, sponsor demands, equipment failures, venue restrictions, ticketing problems, security concerns, people trying to get in for free, guest list requests, and people asking for favors from event organizers they don't know. I have seen people sneak into events, bring their friends, and sit down at a reserved table where plates were paid for to eat. The actual guest arrives and they have no place to sit. Security will ask the intruders to leave, and it was all uncalled for. People not only looking for hookups, but just taking them when they feel like it. I am not saying all of that happened at InvestFest. I am saying those are common realities in the event business. When you put on a major conference, one person not doing their job can affect the entire event. One late speaker can throw off a schedule. One technical failure can frustrate hundreds of people. One staffing issue can create lines. One vendor issue can make the organizers look bad, even if that problem was outside of their direct control. And when the event is Black-owned, there can be even more pressure. It can appear that everybody wants to be included. Everybody wants something for free. Everybody wants access. Everybody wants to be on stage, in the room, on the list, at a table, or connected to the founders. Then, if they do not get what they want, some of those same people go online and criticize the event. That can wear anybody down. There is another part of this story that people need to understand: corporate sponsorship. Corporations can make a Black-owned event go through a long, exhausting process. They ask for audience demographics, rate sheets, proposals, sponsor decks, RFPs, meetings, follow-up calls, revisions, and more information. Then, after all of that, they may decide not to participate, or they may have never seriously planned to participate in the first place. That is one of the dirtiest parts of business. If a company does not want to support an event, it should just say no. Do not have a Black entrepreneur spending weeks or months chasing paperwork, meetings, and promises that never turn into actual support. Sometimes corporations will put money into a smaller event outside the Black community while overlooking a Black-owned event that has more people, more visibility, and more direct cultural impact. That is not new. A lot of Black entrepreneurs have experienced it. With DEI programs being cut back or challenged in many companies, the fight for corporate money, sponsorship, and partnerships has become even more difficult. That puts additional pressure on Black-owned brands trying to produce events at a high level. I do not think Rashad Bilal was simply trying to create drama. I think he sounded frustrated and exhausted. When you are a Black entrepreneur trying to build something large, you are often dealing with pressure from every direction. Corporations that want endless information but do not commit. People who want free access, speakers and vendors with demands, city politics, hotel prices, staffing problems, and social media critics who only see the final product. At the same time, attendees have every right to expect value when they spend their money. Both things can be true. InvestFest should listen to the criticism, make improvements, and be more transparent about what the event offers. But people should also understand the enormous amount of work it takes to create a Black-owned event at that scale. The photo with the mayor was a good start, but the real test will be what happens next. Whether the city provides meaningful support, whether the event improves the attendee experience, whether hotel costs become more manageable, and whether InvestFest can continue growing without losing the people it was created to serve. This is 30 plus years in. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Kevin Ross. Thanks for listening.